We're going to do our post-shooting basic review or opinion of the Anderson Manufacturing AM-15 utility rifle. But before we do that, if you would please subscribe and hit the like button and help with the algorithm of the channel. Alright, thank you. So, I picked up this Anderson. It was the last one of the budget ARs that I got for a ridiculously low price. Okay, now this company, when it was in business, before it was sold, I guess Ruger bought it, was known for quality control issues. Okay, so there's a lot of negative attitude and got the thing poverty pony. I've used their lowers to complete a bunch of, builds myself. Matter of fact, if you look at that video, I have all my ARs. Most of them have Anderson receivers. So neither here nor there. And of course, out of the 3 guns we've tested that fell into the budget AR thing, this was the only one that messed up. I mean, all those other firearms functioned well, after being cleaned right out of the box. All of them did real good, except this one. Now, upon taking it apart, I realized this back takedown pin is hard to get out. Okay, so that's one of 2 things. The detent's a little screwed up, but that should wear in. But I believe there's a difference in the dimensions that make that kind of bind up. Other than that, I mean, the rifle functioned well with the magazine, which, by the way, this unmarked magazine that don't drop out, I believe that's one that they complain about. There's no reinforcement in here, and if you store it loaded for a period of time, the bullets just deform it and fly out. So, and there's no marking on it, but I believe just looking at it, that's what it is. So, magazine is questionable. With a standard factory cartridge, this gun shot fine. I think I might have had one when I put one of the metal magazines, one failure to feed up there. But where the trouble began is, number 1, with my reloads, and number 2, steel cased ammo. I had some steel cased ammo. This thing would not eat that Russian made steel cased ammo. I have not tried that in my other budget guns, but I will make a point of it. See, I used to like to get ARs with chrome line barrels in my 223s. The one my wife shoots and shot a lot of the ammo and has a chrome line barrel. And the one I have in 5.56 has a chrome line barrel. And generally that lower quality ammo works fine in one of those. And to prove it, I have my Lyman case gauge, and supposedly if your reloaded cartridge fits into this gauge, drops down flush like that, this thing should chamber in any gun, okay, in that caliber. Second one, down, flush, alright. And these cartridges did shoot in one of the other rifles. And I mean, they go in and they fall out, okay. So what does that mean? Well, that means, and I went just to make sure, I ran headspace gauges in it. I believe the chamber on this is a little tight. In other words, the tolerances are closer. If your chamber is short and it won't take a no-go gauge, that will create a whole bunch of weird problems. Okay, I went and put the if it's short and it won't take the go gauge, that could create some problems. The go gauge went to where it should be, went in there, but the no-go gauge, really the bolt carrier was hanging out of the receiver, so it could be, it's on the low side of the tolerance. Alright, so a little bit on the tight side, and it did kind of group better with the ammunition. Anything that came out of the factory worked fine in it. The 62 grain bullets, all that. And we had gotten about, I'd say 60 to 80 rounds through it, but there were issues, and certain ammunition did not work in this rifle. So you can take that as it is. The rifle has a tight chamber and a better barrel, or you can take it that it's quality control and the gun is junk. You don't want a rifle that malfunctions with, different types of ammo. So, there you go. Other than that, no other issues, nothing come loose, nothing broke apart. Again, like I said, if you're the type of person that's something like that, steel cased ammo doesn't work, it's a little tight, and your reloads don't work, and you can't push this thing out because it's binding up, and actually, it is a tight, there's no play in this. Some of these guns you get to rattle, and I remember people pick them up and rattle, and there's no daylight coming through, okay? So it's a close fit, all right? And in a way, I think it's closer than the other. Once we review all three of them, we'll see if I can get any rattle, but there is no play. It's a solid lockup between the upper and lower receiver, all right? Good, bad, or whatever, but that's something people look for, so it all depends how you look at it. At this price, okay, what I got most of these for, this one I think was lower. I got this one for lower than the other two by at least 20 units, maybe 30, okay? And yes, the company is gone. Eventually, once these things sell out at this price, which they're around, the sale's still on, I think Sportsman Outdoors or something, or Sportsman Guide was selling this, and it's still there, free shipping. Once they clear these out, these deals will be gone. That's your choice on it. And if you're the type of person, you don't like things to be slightly off, and you don't, because I know a few people have told me when I review these guns, well, I'm not mechanically inclined, or I don't have the skill set you do to disassemble this gun to that degree and try to fix it. They want the gun to function 100% out of the box, and that's another thing. There was no manual. I don't know if there's a warranty on this thing or what, okay, for defects or whatever, or who would you go to for it. Somebody said there's something that covers it, but all of it's online, and when I tried getting there on my phone, they couldn't get to the manual. So, I don't know. For those of you who don't like the risks, don't like what you've seen here, honestly, this is what happened to me, and you see me compare the other guns. If you don't like anything, then I strongly suggest you don't avoid this. You avoid this deal, if that's the way you feel. I don't blame you. So, now we're going to go on to reviewing all three of them together, a little bit of accuracy, a little bit of this and that, and then I'll do an overview of my opinion of all three of the firearms, pluses and minuses, and so on and so forth. Alright, thank you, and please stay tuned.